Okay, we got Saykoya, game 2, playing Wulfar on open season versus Mastro playing Caesar. Ooh, this is interesting. This is fascinating as well. I think Caesar with a rifle is actually a pretty terrifying commander. And Mastro has like said that Caesar is potentially like one of the strongest commanders, if not the strongest. Oh, I guess like Vesper is pretty much always the best, but Caesar has like so much potential, but the skill ceiling is so high that like people can't realistically play him like optimally on timer. That said, we're going to see Mastro attempt to play Caesar, especially this is especially interesting after having a real struggle in the last game, game 1, with timer. Did fall about 10 minutes behind in the end. We're gonna see, you know, can he do better on open season?
Here I come.
Okay. Here's Wulfar gonna play this one out. I mean, early turns on open season have been scienced out, like, beyond the point of, like, ridiculousness. I mean, I guess, like, the most interesting thing we're gonna see happen is what happens to this particular sword. In this case, Mastro's sword cannot be punished, but oh, Saykoya's can. We're gonna see that sword go down. Oh, and this sword also gonna go down. So Mastro being really aggressive in this early game, getting a couple of kills early. And I imagine feeling very good about that too. And what is going to be the counterplay here from Saykoya? Okay, just gonna get a kill here. And probably just heavily damage the swords. So yeah, gonna come down, drive that sword to low health, and ooh, this is actually very interesting because this sword, I think it actually has to just be sacrificed because otherwise it's just like a walking like golf ball for Wulfar. And ooh, gonna move over here. That's actually a smart play because it messes with Wulfar's ability to effectively groove this. And I don't necessarily think tier 1 is what you want to be using with Wulfar. Okay, really nice follow-up here though. Night crit onto that village. And Saykoya has a golem. And this is so effective against Caesar because Caesar wants to have a bunch of light infantry units push forwards, do a whole bunch of damage. And, you know, he's sitting on tier 1 already, so this is looking pretty scary right now. But if you have a golem with a rifle behind it, that's actually going to be really useful against infantry. Because the infantry are going to struggle to kill the golem. You need heavy hitting units, you need like knights, commander does well. Ranged units, like archers are good because you can do some chip damage with them. They don't necessarily do a lot of damage, but they do some chip. And then, yeah, but that golem's just going to be such a problem. Okay, rifle gonna open up, get a free crit on the commander. And they're just gonna park behind that stronghold. Under like basically no threat right now. Although, oh, Wulfar has tier 2. There are 2 sides open on this rifle. And that might just be a dead rifle. But is Saykoya gonna go for it? That is the question. Oh, Golem's being so like much of a nuisance. And oh wow. Saykoya's just gonna do so much damage, and because he's on the aggressive side and all this army is on the defense. Like there's no worry about stronghold threat, so you know, Saykoya's just like, I'm just gonna take the map. I can do that. I don't have to care too much about, you know, like worrying about my stronghold suddenly dying. I mean, Caesar can be kind of threatening in that regard, but there's no Caesar tier 2 anytime soon. So he is completely safe in that regard. He does have to worry about this tier 1 though. Like there could be some spooky stuff coming out of that. Golem's gonna walk back. More pressure here. Rifle moving into an aggressive position. I love this. Covers this side. Like this line here. And also is aggressive too. Like if this golem tries to push forwards, it will take a rifle shot. And rifle chip is annoying and will not threaten lethal, but just a little bit of chip damage means like the golem is slightly less threatening. And like every 10% you do to a golem, like reduces the amount of units it can kill. Oh, and here we go. We see this knight gonna go down. And are we gonna see like a big counterplay here? Are we gonna see like maybe 2 of these swords going down for that?
Off you go.
Okay, tee off. What's he gonna hit? Is he gonna hit the dog? Bang, bang, bang. Oh, that did so much damage from across the map. Look at that golem, 54% health. And is this gonna die? Oh, sword able to pick up the kill. Oh, that's such good damage cross map. And the range on Wulfar tier 2 is so huge. It can basically cover like the whole map. Especially on something like open season. Okay, and now Mastro's just like, well, my big heavy hitting unit's dead. Wulfar tier 2 isn't on the table right now, but tier 1's actually not that far away. 45%. And yeah, he's just like, this is something we see fairly commonly on open season, is like once someone is able to just stabilize, they will just take 2/3 of the map and they will sit on it and they will just build big units and they will do a lot with that. And here we see Wulfar, sorry, getting close to another tier 1. And that will pressure, you know, air units, it'll pressure a bunch of stuff. You got triple, quadruple golem now. And he's just gonna get the point where he can just walk forwards with golems and just be like, yo, what's up? Come at me, bro. And oh, that's just gonna be a dead spear. Like, Mastro's trying his best. He really is. He's gonna put a lot of pressure on the stronghold. All these golems are on the right hand side. But Wulfar is gonna have a tier 1 group if he decides to engage here. And, you know, rifle crit's gonna do a decent chunk of damage to one of these spears. And he's also capturing econ on the right hand side. Oh, that's so bold, but I love it. Injured sword actually going to get the kill there. Wulfar got that tier 1. He's going to be able to do some good damage here if he wants to. Also just threatens as well. But he needs to be careful. He can't go too far forwards. Mountain tile is perfect. Long distance away. Doesn't have to worry about getting Caesar tier 2'd. Which, 73, okay, it could happen. Probably not this turn though. He does need to be a bit careful. Oh, he's gonna sacrifice so much just to break this golem. 40%! Oh, that's so painful. The counterattack damage on this is gonna be unreal. And yeah, that knight almost falls. But takes out the rifle. A really strong push coming in here. It's gonna do a ton of damage. Caesar has tier 2 for next turn, so all of his army, he just needs to keep it alive just a little bit longer. Saykoya was actually fairly out of position with a lot of his stuff. He had a big army to fight with, but it wasn't quite in the right place. Okay, can he win though? This knight taking that much counter damage is such a big deal. Like, the knight ideally should have actually gone in, and then another unit should have gone in after, but it's so difficult to calculate all of those things. Okay, Caesar's just gonna get punched in the face. And he just wants to make sure, if Caesar does tier 2 and doesn't end the game with it, that, you know, it's not gonna be... It rolled 199%. Oh, he needed to hit with, like, a unit. Just, like, anything should have hit, like, any of these buildings. Like, one of those swords should have just hit this building and you could have tier 2 to golem in. Because, yeah, like, if you can just devastate Caesar's army, then, yeah, you're in a good spot. He needs to do something, though, because there's just so much stuff here. Okay, able to take that dog. You see the big Inspire. It's going to catch a lot of these units. He just has to work around the golem. Oh, man, he's just going to go for it. Okay. Sacrifices. Oh, that's rough. Doesn't even kill the golem. Like, that level of massive Inspire, and he still doesn't kill. And this might just be it, and yeah, Mastro's just gonna call it. He's so far behind. He's about to eat the huge counter-attack damage from all of those golems, and yeah, there's a tier 2 from Wulfar. I think that could have ended before the Inspire came out. I think if Saykoya had calced the 1% a little bit better, like he could have tier 2 to golem in, like really smashed a bunch of this army, and just made it like impossible for any kind of comeback. But yeah, like there was just not enough army. And this is the big weakness of Caesar, is it takes a long time to get to tier 2, and the units he wants to work with do not do well into golems. So Saykoya takes the early econ lead, uses Wulfar to pressure, you know, builds that leads, and then just walls with heavy units that Caesar can't really punish. And even things like that dog moving forward, like it attacked into another dog, which meant a dog crit on the return. It's just like, oh, like little things like that, and it's just, oh no. Saykoya played it really well, had a huge golem army. And when you got that big lead, and you got that big lead for a long time, yeah, you're gonna do that. But I mean, people will probably go back and study this replay and just be like, where exactly did it all happen? And it's just like, it happened all over the place. And this, I think, is showing why Saykoya is a world champion, and why he is, like, honestly at this point, the favorite to win this whole thing. Mastro, not out of it yet. He's gonna do his losers bracket run. He did one before. He's definitely done a lower bracket run before and come out and done extremely well, making top 3 before. And we're gonna see that. Maybe we're gonna see that again. He's got some pretty tough opponents though in the lower bracket. I believe Sneaky is there. I'm just gonna take a quick look at the bracket actually while I can. We're gonna see exactly who Mastro has to face. And the next opponent, KHB, so I think that's actually generally regarded as like kind of in the bag for Mastro to some extent, because those two play a lot, and Mastro is, I think, the better player. But I mean, who knows, KHB could upset. And then after that, it's like the winner of Sneaky Dragon, MVAKM is, you know, those are two tough players as well. I think Mastro can take that, but we'll see. Could happen. And then after that, it's the loser of Warble and Skyro. Both very good players as well. So there's going to be a hell of a run that he has to go through. And on the opposite side of the bracket, you got like Sedchun, you got Spottius, Sparky, and who knows, actually. We'll see. You got like the Inferno, Mr. Cat. They could also do some work too, so you never know. But we'll see. Anyway, that was a fantastic set. Fantastic showing there from Saykoya. And we're going to get to see more of these two players going forwards. But for now, we're going to wrap things up.